back to Springington Math 8. Today we're starting a new chapter, Chapter 8, and the first lesson is linear equations with one variable. Let's hop right in. Here are some basic things you should know about linear equations. There are three different types of solutions that you can get from when you solve them. The first type of answer you can get is one solution, and that would look something like x equals 2, or 4, or whatever the number is you get when you solve. Now the second choice for a solution is called no solution, and this is when you get something like 5 equals 3, and we all know that 5 does not equal 3. And the last choice you can have is called many or infinite solutions, and that's something like 2 equals 2 or 4 equals 4. So we're going to look at this very first equation. How many solutions does this equation have? 12r minus 4 equals 11r. And for us to figure out how many solutions it has, we need to solve it. So let's go ahead and start solving for the variable r. The very first thing we've got here is 12r minus 4 equals 11r. And what I'm going to do is put all the variables on one side of the equal sign and all the constants or all the numbers on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 12r from both the left side and the right side in order to keep our equation balanced. And now when I do that, I'm going to result in getting negative 4 equals negative r. Well, we can't have a negative variable, so we need to multiply both sides by negative 1 for that to go away. So I did that, and we go ahead and get a solution of 4 equals r, or r equals 4. Now, going back to those three types of solutions we can have in a linear equation, this one resulted in a one-solution equation. So here's another problem we can look at. X plus 5 equals 10. So we're going to go ahead and solve for the variable x and see what kind of answer we get, and then decide what type of solution we have. So x plus 5 equals 10. Well, I'm going to get all my variables on one side and all the numbers on the other. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And this is a one-step equation, so now we have the answer of x equals 5. And again, we can say this equation has one solution. Now here's a more complex problem that we can look at. 18 equals 2, parenthesis, b plus 6, close that parenthesis. This is going to take a little bit more work to solve, but again, we'll see what type of solution we have at the end. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute that 2 and multiply it by b and 6. That's going back to using the distributive property. So that results in 18 equals 2b plus 12. Now we can subtract 12 from both sides. 18 minus 12 is 6, and I subtract 12 from the other side. Positive 12 and negative 12 cancel each other out to make 0. So now I'm left with 6 equals 2b. And I can divide both sides by 2 to get rid of that 2 and that b. They're squished together, and how we separate them is to divide. So when I divide both sides by 2, I get b equals 3. And again, this is a nice example of a one-solution equation. That's it for today. Catch you next time.